Hi guys, Opinionated Horsewoman here. Wanted to make a video today to talk to you a little bit about running for beginners. I've been running for at least 5 years, it might be 6, but there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know when I started running that I wish I had someone to kind of advise me on. So I thought I would make a video and kind of run through some things that I've discovered over the years that might help somebody that's new to taking up running, or even somebody who is looking to run their first race. So we're going to go through some items here and I hope you find them helpful. First thing I want to talk about is clothing. When I first started running, I just grabbed a t-shirt out of my closet, a pair of shorts out of my drawer, threw on a pair of socks, found a pair of shoes that were some sort of athletic shoes, and I just went out and started jogging. The first problem with just grabbing anything you own out of your closet is you have the potential to have chafing issues, but also you have the potential to overheat, and this can happen at any season. And the problem is that a lot of us have our old t-shirts that we're going to wear and do this are probably made out of cotton. Same thing for shorts that you might grab, or sweatpants that you might grab. They're probably going to be cotton. And the problem with cotton is that it does not wick moisture, and it does not breathe or allow the heat to dissipate from your body. And while that sounds like it's not a problem in the winter time, it is, because you can actually overheat in any season when your body is got moisture trapped against it and it's getting hot, because as you exercise you heat up, and it can cause a lot of problems. So I really recommend, I have a shirt here, that you look for an athletic shirt, and it's going to be made out of likely a polyester and spandex or rayon blend, no cotton whatsoever. And you can find these pretty much everywhere now. You don't have to spend a huge amount of money. There's a lot of places that supply these, a lot of brands. You don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on top of the line. Just make sure you find something that's like heat gear or athletic wear, and that you read the label, and that this one is called Duo Dry. It's actually made by Champion, but there's a lot of them out there that are made that are not a real big name brand. It doesn't have to be Under Armour or anything. It just has to be something that's specifically made as athletic wear and that will wick moisture and heat. And again, no cotton. And that also transfers to the type of socks that you wear. When I started running, I had all cotton socks in my drawer, and I developed blisters the size of like a quarter on my feet, because I just thought, well, it's just what happens when you start running. Well, the problem is that cotton, not only does it hold the moisture in your shoe and the heat, but it also is very abrasive. So I switched and purchased some athletic socks, and all my blister problems went away immediately. So I have some socks here that are specifically made for running. These particular ones are all for summer. They're all, again, no cotton in them. They're specifically made for athletic wear. And there's some things and some features about these I wanted to quick go over. These are like what I would call a simple footy. These are not my favorite for running in. I use these for walking, but the reason why is my particular taste is to have extra protection at the heel of my foot, up where the top of your shoe would be, to prevent blisters along the back of the shoe. And so I have a lot of footies for summer running that have extra thick tops to them. So that's my personal preference. You can certainly, a lot of people really like these. I don't really generally try to run in these, because I really do like the extra protection at the heel of my socks. So in the winter time, I like to run in something that is actually going to be what would I call almost like a knee high. And these are actually compression socks, but they're a low amount of compression, and I have other non-compression socks, but I grabbed these because this is not a bad idea for new runners to run in compression wear, because it will help support your legs as you train and your body starts adapting to whatever mileage that you're going to run. Again, these are not like the tight compression that someone with a surgical compression would wear, but these are just kind of meant to provide some support to your calves, and not really a whole lot of support through your foot, but more to your calves as you're learning and kind of training and adding on the mileage. I also like to wear these if I am running a race, and it's not too terribly hot out. If it is hot, I actually have compression sleeves that only go from your ankle up to your calf, and then I just wear a pair of my footies, just a little something that I sometimes do. But again, I do not recommend ever trying to run in cotton socks. You're looking at probably athlete's foot, because you're going to hold a lot of moisture in your feet and your footbed and your shoe. All that moisture is going to breed bacteria. You're going to end up with athlete's foot and possibly toe fungus. So look for something that's specifically an athletic sock. It's going to cost more than those cotton socks, but it's worth it in the end when you take care of yourself and use the right equipment. And nobody likes bloody, horrible blisters on their feet, your heels, your toes, the underside of your feet. It's just really unpleasant, and it'll interrupt your training. So I recommend investing in a couple of pairs of athletic socks. And don't use these on a daily basis. Use them specifically when you go out and you do your training runs or you run a race. So they'll last longer that way. The next thing I want to talk about is the mileage that you spend outside running. If you're going to run outside, make sure you remember to use sunscreen. And when you do, remember that you're going to be sweating, and that's going to remove your sunscreen. So you need to look for something that is specifically for sport, okay? It's still going to sweat off, but it's going to last a little bit longer. It's been tested for a sport environment. I always try to go with a higher SPF because, again, if you're out there running for an hour, this one is water resistant, not waterproof, but water resistant for 80 minutes. That's an hour and 20 minutes if you're lucky. So if you're gonna go for something like this, you know, really, to be honest with you, better would be a mineral sunscreen. It's gonna last longer. This is actually a chemical sunscreen, but not everybody likes the mineral sunscreens. So this one's been a go-to for me this summer. It's about half empty because I've been using it. I'm on my second bottle. However, also do not forget sunscreen for your face. And this is where I would really strongly advise you to use a mineral sunscreen. And the reason is as you sweat and all that sweat comes down, you do not want to get the chemical sunscreen. It'll make your eyes sting. If it gets in your eyes, it's just a miserable experience. And the mineral sunscreens are not going to do that. They're not going to slide down your face into your eyes and give you that burning sensation. So even if you don't like mineral sunscreen on the rest of your body, I strongly advise that for running, you use this on your face, or at least above your eyes. If you really hate it, at least above your eyes. You won't get the chemical slide down into your eyes when you're sweating. So definitely consider that. The next thing is also when you're out, if you're out pounding the pavement out in the sun, wear some sunglasses, because you may have sunscreen on your skin, but glaucoma actually occurs from the sun exposure to your eyes. So get a UVA, UVB protective pair of sunglasses and wear them. These are actually not athletic sunglasses, but you can get athletic sunglasses that are more of a low profile that'll wrap around and protect you. But your eyes, you definitely do not want to get glaucoma. So wear a pair of comfortable sunglasses and consider either a hat or, you know, some sort of headgear. If it's really hot out, I'll wear this just to get the steaming heat off my head, but lately I have been trending towards wearing a full-blown hat because I don't want the UVA and UVB rays on my head. I need that extra protection. You know, you can't really get sunscreen in your hair, so you don't have any kind of sun protection on your scalp. I have a part, and I have a part in the back when I put my hair in the pigtails, so I've really been trying to protect my scalp from the damaging rays of the sun. So at a minimum, what the brim will do is at least help protect your eyes and the upper part of your face from sun, keep you from squinting. So I do recommend some sort of sunshade for at least your eyes, if not your whole head. And now, don't forget the sunscreen for your lips. Not all lip balms are SPF, so this is a product called Vanny Cream. It's got a SPF of 30. It's really easy. It's small. It actually goes on. It's a pretty nice little sunscreen. It's partially mineral and partially chemical, and it feels really nice on the lips. So there are other sunscreens that are more of a hard, like a balm. Just make sure you get a minimum of at least SPF of 30, and something like this is very easy to take with you on your runs. You can tuck it into most running shorts or tights, or even sweatpants will have at least a small pocket. These fit in beautifully. And this is a great trick to have with you when you're running, because if you are developing a rub that's going to turn into a blister, in a pinch, put some chapstick on it. It will help provide the glide to get you through and get you home so that you can prevent a blister. So if you're starting to feel a rub, get some chapstick on that before the blister develops, and then realize that you either need a different pair of socks or a different pair of shoes, which we will get to in a minute. But on the other topic of rubs, there are some great products out there. This is something called Body Glide, and it's this is Body Glide for her, and there's also Body Glide for him. It's an anti-chafe, and ladies, this is wonderful. You can put it on your heels if you're getting, if you're worried about getting like a heel blister, or your toes. But you can also put it on your thighs, under your arms, wherever you are feeling like something's chafing, even like a bra strap, anything. This stuff is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. They sell it in larger, I guess I would say more like a deodorant size, but this one's nice because it's small and you can tuck it into again, a pocket if you need to, if you don't want to bring one of these. And it's specifically made as an anti-chafe. It is wonderful, wonderful product. So the last thing I'm going to talk to you about is your shoes. Grab mine. Make sure that you get fitted properly for running shoes. Now, most athletic stores will help fit you. You should have a qualified person watch you walk, if not, get you on a treadmill and watch you or videotape you running to evaluate your foot strike. Foot strike meaning how do you land. I'm a neutral runner, which means I land pretty correctly centered over my foot. People who pronate land with a lot of weight to the inside of their foot. So they might land like this and roll in on their foot. And people who supinate roll to the outside and put a lot of weight on the outside of their foot. And if you pronate or you supinate, you need what's like a structured supportive shoe. And depending on whether you pronate or you supinate, will be a different probably type of supportive shoe. Neutral runners, they have neutral shoes. So it's really important to have somebody evaluate you. Don't try to evaluate yourself when you're moving. It's really impossible unless you were to set up a video camera. But this is where going to an athletic store, a running store, and getting professional help will save you a lot of pain and a lot of money, so that you're not trying 15 different brands and types of shoes until you find something that's comfortable. The other tip I would tell you is if you're going to start running any sort of distance, even a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, consider going up a half a size to a full size. I size up a half a size on my shoes, and I have run up to several half marathons. My feet will swell a half a size. If I were to train for a marathon, I probably would consider sizing up a full size, because when you are doing that kind of mileage, your feet are going to swell and expand, and you hear about it all the time, runners who lose their toenails because they did not size up on their shoes. And what happens is your feet swell and they push forward, your toes are going to hit the front of your shoe, and when you start getting that kind of friction and pressure on your toenails, you can actually lose your toenails, which is really an unpleasant experience. It can take 6 months to a year to grow a toenail back, because they don't grow as fast as our fingernails. So along with evaluating your foot strike, you need to evaluate what's called the toe box, which is the shape of the toe. This particular show has a pretty rounded toe box. I prefer something generally that's a little bit wider. This particular brand has subtly changed their toe box. I'm doing okay with it because I do half size up, but I do watch to make sure that the toe box doesn't drastically change on me. So you could actually be fitted for, we'll say, like a neutral shoe like this. You could find it to be very uncomfortable when you're running with it, and it could just be the fit of the toe box. So again, that is something to discuss with a professional in a running shoe store, somebody who probably is a runner themselves and who's been trained in how to actually fit you for something that's comfortable. So just something to think about there. And on the last part about talking about this is realize that as you put miles on these, they wear out, and you really need to watch the wear pattern on the bottom, because you can actually get stress fractures from running on shoes that are worn out. I have a bit of a bad back from riding horses for many years and being injured, and I can tell when my shoes are wearing out. For one, I slow down. I can lose 1 to 2 minutes per mile when I'm running on worn out shoes. Not only that, my back hurts. I can feel it in my back, and that's as simple as I tend to strike the outside of my heel first and then roll straight across the ball of my foot. And when this wears out, it throws me completely off, and I get slower, and it messes with my back. So there are running apps where you can actually log in a new pair of shoes and log your miles with every run, and it will tell you, okay, it's been 300 miles. You need to evaluate whether or not your shoes are worn out, and you can kind of tell it how many miles to alert you to. Some shoes you can get 500 or 600 miles out of. It just depends on the material made here. I get about 300 to 350 before, like I said, I'm losing 1 to 2 minutes per mile off, which is a lot, or my back hurts. So I tend to go through shoes a little bit quicker because I'm a little bit more sensitive. Most people would probably look at my shoes and say, wow, those don't look worn out, but I really keep an eye on the side and make sure when I'm starting to wear through these wear patterns. And some of these shoes have, I'm not sure if you can see this, there are some marks in there, and you can see as they start to disappear, then you know you're wearing your shoes out. So just some tips I really wish I had been told when I started running, and I hope they're things that you will consider. Again, good pair of socks, sunscreen, eyewear, maybe a hat or a visor, definitely sunglasses, and then, you know, carry some cheap chapstick with you if you're worried about a blister. Pretty easy to carry, and you know, just be safe and take it easy, and you're gonna do great. And those are pretty much my tips and tricks. I will come back at a later date and do some tips for people who are getting ready to run their first race, be it a 5K, 10K, even a half marathon. Just some things I figured out when after running races for so many times. So I really appreciate you tuning in. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. Please hit the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications on uploads on new videos I am making, and please comment below in the comment section. Let me know other tips and tricks and things that you've found as you've taken your running journey along. There's been so many things I have learned from so many people I've met running, so it'd be great if you would share it all. So you guys have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.